Okay, Joddie. Last week went 1-1 on the homestand. Just what were you encouraged by in those two games?
I felt like our Weber State game, we played a complete game. We had, consistency for 4 quarters. I feel like that's kind of been a problem for us where we'll have one quarter where we can't score or we'll give up too many points, one or the other, throughout the year. So we played a complete game against Weber, and it ended up being a 15-point win, and it felt like it was a 2-point game the whole time. So we were just excited the way we responded every time Weber made a run. They cut the lead several different times, and we responded and answered.
You had about 3 or 4 girls averaging double digits in scoring. Is that is the scoring distribution where you want it to be, or do you kind of want to add another person, or you want more people to take control of it, or how does that you see that?
I think that we're struggling to score at times, so I think that we do need some more contributions, maybe from different folks. But I don't care where it comes from. We just need to figure out ways to score. So that's on me. I need to try to get these guys into positions to score and get easier looks. So we're trying to figure that out.
How do you feel, from first game to now that the defense intensity has sort of same idea? Has it improved? Do you need to do more? Is it right where you kind of want it to be?
I think our defense is solid. We're leading the conference in field goal percent defense, so that's something that we like to emphasize is getting the opponent a tough shot, right, and then securing the rebound. So when you have Courtney Joe, she kind of gets all the defensive rebounds for us, but I think our other players are really doing a nice job of blocking their players out, keeping their players off, and either they get it or Courtney gets it. So I think that our defense has been real solid from at this point. We've continuously tried to work on that. I think it's a anchor for us right now when shots aren't falling.
You have, Courtney, JC, and Emily, freshmen last year. You kind of have that group of 3 who have stuck around and are still here and, they're together. How do you sort of see that group as being like the core of the team going forward?
Yeah, those 3 are studs for us. They play a lot of minutes. They've played a lot of minutes their freshman year and now their sophomore years. And, sometimes we forget that they are still young and learning and trying to, we got to make sure that we're continuously like boosting them up and having some grace where they have mistakes, and then building them up, trying to keep that core together. They're really good. They're roommates. They're friends off the court. So we're hoping to have great years in the future too.
I know you talked about Courtney being more aggressive on offense. Is that kind of similar to what you want JC to do, and how you sort of seen both of them sort of take more of that role on this season?
I think both Courtney and JC are always working on, developing their different moves or their offensive game. I think that they draw a lot of focus from our opponents. They've been drawing a lot of double teams. I think that usually is an indication that you're a pretty good player, right? So, they just have to learn to read the defense and, not try to force the issue. And I think that both of them are doing great, that they, are always trying to improve in that category. So, recognizing those doubles or recognizing when it's single coverage and then, reading how they're playing each of them and scoring around it.
Courtney's obviously, racked up doubles. Have you seen sort of JC sort of work to become that two-way player as another two-way player for you guys?
Yeah, JC's really been rebounding for us quite a bit in conference, especially. I think that she's really focused on contributing in that part of her game, and is really getting after it on the boards for us, and so that just makes it tougher. Teams can't just focus on Courtney going to get those boards. So when JC gets after it and secures some for us too, that just makes it our defense better.
Those two, they're on the court a lot together. How do you sort of see that relationship developing? Obviously, they're friends. You've seen that it's sort of like the culture kind of breeds that product out there on the court.
Those two are, play the 4 and 5 for us, and a lot of our action, they look for each other. So I think that, they do a good job of that. We'll run some different high-low actions or some different post-up opportunities for each of them, and our guards are doing a nice job of getting them the ball, and then they find each other as well. So I think those relationships off the court really help the culture on the court. You can encourage somebody when they need it. You can, pick them up when they need it. You can, it's your sister out there. So I love to see it.
Road trip this week, kind of a long circle you're making. What do you expect from Portland State and Sac State?
Yeah, both teams, different styles, but first we got Portland State on Thursday. They're very balanced in their scoring. They're led by Brown. She's a nice scorer for them on the guard spot. But they have some long athletic posts, and they're. I don't think that their record is indicative of what type of team they are. They've had some really close games that they just haven't found a way to close out yet. But I think that they're kind of that new team on the rise who's playing really well. Their coach has them playing some really good defense, and so I think that it'll be a tough one for us when we head down there to Portland. And then we got Sac on Saturday. And they really try to crank it up defensively. They'll pick you up full court. They try to create offense from their defense, and so we have to make sure that we take care of the ball and get good looks.
I know. Is this road trip to you kind of one of the more difficult ones because of the distance, or is it just another trip for you?
Oh, it's an easy trip because the flights are an hour each, and you're not driving in the bus for 6 hours. I think that, our Montana trip is probably one of the toughest, NAU, Colorado, NAU and UNC, because you have bus and flights, but this one's not bad. It's hour flights, direct flights all the way. And in Cali, I get to see my family. So that's a bonus.
Having your family there, was that just just great to have that added motivation for the team?
Yeah. And we, I don't know about for the team. Yeah. I just like to see everybody. They, friends and family coming from the Chico or Sacramento area. My parents still live in Colusa, and then we get a bunch of our former players usually come. There's just a lot of people that we know down there. So it's just fun to get to see them. They follow us on ESPN, and they love to be able to get us in person too.
Okay, this can be either a coach or a player. Who do you most trust on for picking the music?
For picking the music? Oh, well, we know...
We heard Courtney.
I think Cam does a nice job for us over there.
That's a new one.
She kind of will change it up. Whether if we go with Ella, it's always country. I think that, which is fine, yeah. But we just like to mix it up sometimes. So Cam does a nice job for us.
Do you think there's a difference between practice, pump up, or is it just the same all the way through?
They tend to do the same, I think. We try to get fired up for practice just like games, so we try to keep it, where we'll do different music and let them choose. So I think that, that's a fun part of practice as well as games.
Okay, who do you trust the least to pick out the music?
The least? Gosh. I don't know. I feel like they'll all be good.
I heard Katie and JC.
Okay, maybe JC. I don't know what her taste would be, but I feel like it might be a little different than everyone else's. Okay.
No coaches have a
I don't know about Dora.
Opinion.
Dora's been picking some of our music in the bus trips, but she gets us amped up pretty good. So.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Thanks. Go Eagles.